Make sure that you lead with your heart because, with love, everything can be solved.
If you want them to get things done, they definitely will get it done. That even if we close our eyes, we can still see your brightness. That is how amazing the VAs in our community is. Welcome to the Phyllis Song Super VA Coaching Program. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. This thing has changed my life. It actually have helped me a lot as a mother, a wife, a business owner. And actually I learned this when I was an assistant too, to learn how to be more effective, right? What can I do so that I can stand out, among the crowd, right? How can I be the next manager to get promoted, right? So I think this will be a very good one for all of us. Again, we are not about traditional, right? Nothing here is traditional, right? So, again, I'm trying to teach you how to think outside the box. How can you level up to your client to the next level? So 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. What is that really about? Habit number one. Habit number one is be proactive. I think this is one thing that we talk to you guys all about, right? Even when you're doing the first round interview, when the group interview, we told you, right? Whoever that speak first tend to be the one that get hired. Whoever that speak last tend to be the one that's not getting hired, right? And then we do another practice round too and say, well, if the company have tight budget, you can only pick 3 people to stay in this company. Who are the 3 people? You know who you are because, some of you guys are very vocal. Some of you are not. Right. And again, are you proactive? This is really the definition of being proactive. Are you proactive enough? Right. Are you responsible for your behavior, your result, and your growth? Right. Focus and act on what they can control and influence instead of what you cannot. Right. Proactive is really focusing on just like what we talk about, right? Where your focus go, your energy flow, right? Really focusing on what you can control instead of what you cannot control, right? There's really no point to be upset about, man, it's raining. Why can't it stop raining? Because there's nothing that you can do about stopping that, right? However, what you can do is, well, since it's raining, I cannot go outside. What can I do inside the house that keep me on the peak state and be happy about it? Right? Sometimes, when you're working with your client, right? Well, the client is very busy, right? There's nothing you can do about that because he or she is very busy. Well, actually, you can do something about it, right? So what else can you do while they are busy? What other value can you add to them while they're very busy, right? As for my team, right? They have courses that they can attend. They have research they can do. And they are focusing on the quadrant 2 time, right? What Stephen Covey was talking about, quadrant 2 time. Okay, look at what I'm doing right now, right? How can I make it faster, make it more efficient? How can I make it even better than what you already have? So again, be proactive, right? Every week, right? Hey, boss, feedback is love. Is there anything else that I can improve on, right? Hey, boss, what is the thing that you really enjoy me doing that you want me to continue doing it, right? Be proactive, asking questions, right? When the company is running into challenges, be proactive, right? Focus on the result, right? Hey, boss, is there anything I can do to bring you the outcome? Is there anything, even if it's tiny little thing, right? Because again, if everything is tiny little bit, right, you add up, that is a lot, right? So again, what would that be for you, right? So again, be proactive. That is habit number 1. Always be proactive, especially if you want to go up or if you do not want to get fired, right? All right. So habit number 2, what would that be? Habit number 2 is beginning with the end in mind. I do believe that I talked to you about this. It's actually, with Tony Robbins' word, it's called the outcome. What is the outcome that you really want, right? Before you start the project or the task or even the thought, right? Focus on time and energy on things that can be controlled, right? Define clear measure of success and a plan to achieve them. I remember on day, when your orientation, right? On the first day, I told you that one of the virtual assistant, I say, hey, help me edit this 10 videos, right? Immediately she went ahead and said, got it, boss, I'm going to do it because again, she won't impress me, right? And she didn't ask me any details. She just went ahead and do it. I figured, well, she most likely know what I'm talking about and I'm very busy. So I didn't clarify and tell her what is my outcome because I thought she knew because it's common sense, right? 3 hours later, it come back. Well, it's not what I want because she actually combined all 10 videos together. And actually I want them to be, added separately, right? So then what would that be? For you, don't be so busy on getting into the task, slow down, right? Hey, boss, what is the end in mind on this? The reason why you want me to do this is because, right, what would that be? If it's email management, oh, boss, is it because, you don't have the time and then you want me to organize them into your calendar for you? Is it because you want me to eliminate your marketing emails? Is it because you want me to reply on your behalf so that people know that you're responding very fast, right? What is the end in mind, right? When you give me this task, what do you really want me to do? So that way I can focus my time and energy on things that I can control, that I can contribute to you, to the outcome that you really want. Does it kind of make sense? Again, if you guys have any example, anything that come in your mind, make sure you type it down below so that we can see it and then, share with each other. Okay. Again, be proactive, right? Habit number 3, what would that be? It's put first thing first. Do you look like the rock, right? All the 5 rocks that is in there. Sometimes you feel like you're juggling, right? Because again, we are excited owner. We're going to give you 10 million things to do, right? You got to do this. Remember what I told you? And then you focus on your time blocking and then you ask the better question. Hey boss, what is the thing that is most important for you right now? What do you need me to get it done this week, today, or this hour? Right? How long does it going to take? What, again, going back to habit number 2, what is the one that will give you the most outcome for the thing that I'm doing right now? Right? So again, habit number 3, put first thing first, right? Execute on the most important priorities, right? Prioritize and achieve the most important goals instead of constantly reacting to urgency. Again, that is something that I taught you about, how do you live above the line, right? Quarter 1 and quarter 2. Make sure that you're not always just be a busy bee. Okay, my client asked me to do this. My client asked me to do that. My client asked me to do that. You're like, oh man, this is kind of cool, but kind of stressed, right? But ultimately, what is the outcome? Did you really get the outcome? Right? Again, you might be talking to 10 clients, but maybe that one client's the most important client. And again, even if you don't talk to the other 9 clients and you close that one client, that is a huge win for you, right? What would that mean to you? What would that mean to your position? What is the first thing, the first thing first? What is the first thing that you can get accomplished, every single day, right? That, will yield you the most result, the most outcome that you want, right? What is the most end in mind that you have? So again, what is the first thing you're going to get accomplished? Sometimes, we tend to, feel like, man, this is difficult. So, okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to make that to be the very last one, right? So again, first thing first, keep your mind onto it, right? Make sure that, you do that as the very first thing, right? The first thing you need to do, and it's not the last thing, it's not the biggest elephant in the room. And usually people will say, well, it's the biggest elephant in the room. So let me kill it first, right? Let me deal with it first. And then I'll work on the rest of the easy tasks. Again, however you want to do it. Again, because you have time blocking, I trust you that you're working on your time blocking. So as long as the first thing, the most important thing is in your time blocking, then we're good, right? As long as you follow through your time blocking exactly, then we're obviously very safe. Right? So again, first thing first, what is the one thing, right? What's the first thing that you should accomplish so that if you got that one done, everything else does not matter anymore, right? So habit number 3, what would that be? Habit number 3 is think win-win, right? Think win-win. I love this. This is the reason why I'm so passionate about doing this virtual assistant thing, because actually here, it's actually not just win-win, it's actually win, win, and win, right? The number 1 win is, you be able to get a job, right? Getting high pay, working from home, right? Taking care of your children, right? You do not have to leave your home, right? Win number 2 is your client is getting good quality, workers with a lower cost for themselves. So in that way they save money and still get a lot of things done. Win number 3 is for us, right? You give us an opportunity to impact your life. And at the same time, we're making money too, right? So win, win, and win, right? So what would that be, right? Work effectively with others to achieve optimal result. Right? Work effectively with others to achieve optimal result. Collaborate more effectively by building high trust relationship, right? Collaborate more effectively by building high trust relationship. You'll be like, well, Phyllis, what does that really mean? Well, just like what I told you, a lot of you guys are in a team, right? We're not fighting against each other. We're fighting for each other. Right? We are together, right? Together as a team, right? A lot of you guys, we pair you up on purpose, right? One of you guys are very bubbly, right? One of you guys are not, it's kind of like an introvert, right? Some of you guys is, you're very accurate, right? Because you're an accountant, but you're not good at computers. And the other one is super good at computer, but maybe not so accurate sometime, right? And again, Do you compare with each other? Oh man, she do this one. Oh man, she do this one. Oh man, he did this. He did that. Well, the truth is, what you are supposed to do is you're supposed to work with each other, and say, well, hey, I noticed that you really enjoy working this right now. So why don't you go ahead and do this? And I know you don't like to do this. Let me do that. So that together, right, we claim the win together. Right? Whenever you find that teammate for you, right, really care about you, really do this, which I know most of you guys are right here, then you're going to create the win-win. Then your client's going to love you a lot. Right? In the past, I have people who are best friends working with my company. Right? This is why I do not, we do not hire, friends in the same company. Different clients, of course, right? And at the end, for some reason, instead of win-win, it was like lose-lose. Man, I don't want to work with her. Man, I don't want to work with her either. I don't like the way she talked to me, boss. I don't like the way she talked to me, right? At the end, I fire both of them. Why? Because again, I told you before, right? If I like drama, I will watch the TV. I wouldn't want to experience the drama myself, right? So always try to think about it. What is a win-win for us? What is the win-win for that we can come up with, right? Hey, if you don't really enjoy doing this and you enjoy doing that, right? Well, why don't I take this away from you and you do this, right? Well, what is the best outcome that we can get from this thing, right? What is the one thing that we can do together, right, to achieve this outcome that we can? What is the win-win? Always think about it. What is a win-win for me and you? So together we are better. Okay. And I know I can count on all of you that you can absolutely do that. Am I right? Type it down below and tell me that, yes, Phyllis, I can definitely do win-win. And I will with, my, whatever your teammate name is, we will achieve win-win together. Okay. That is your commitment to me, right? Habit number 5, what would that be? Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Favorite quote of mine. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. John Maxwell said the same thing too. I'm a big fan of both of them, right? Communicate effectively at all levels of the organization. Influence others by developing a deep understanding of their need and perspective. Sometimes you don't really understand what other people really mean by things. So don't put your assumption into the thing that you thought that's what they say, right? Kind of like what we talk about. What does assume really means, right? A recall, assume means that you're making an ass out of you and me, right? An ass out of you and me. So should we assume? No, we should never assume, right? Sometimes, maybe your teammate come in and they were a little bit down, right? Seek first to understand. Hey, are you doing okay today? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not feeling that good today. Oh, okay. Understand. Well, then you can ask, well, I just thought, maybe I can help you with this, that, or whatever, right? Then to be understood, right? Hey, I need you to work on this project for me, right? Do you think you're going to be okay with that? Right? Seek first to understand, right? Are you going to be okay? Are you going to feel comfortable doing it? Yeah, I think so, right? Okay, very good. Okay, so this is the expectation that I have for you. Am I right? You wanted to make sure that you really communicate with each other very, very easily, because again, remember day 1, we were doing that Google Word document, right? And we're trying to create notes. Remember how I give all of you guys same instruction, however, everybody understand it differently, right? Because, we all understood things very differently. Even like right now, again, we test you before, right? Hey, go get me an ice cream. What is the first ice cream that come out in your mind? Type it down below so that we can see it, right? And then when you're seeing what everybody else is writing, are they all the same? They are not the same. Am I right? Why? Because everybody understanding is different. Because we all grow up differently. We have different sets of parents. We have different experience. We go to different school. We got taught by different teacher, right? We have different children. We run into different challenges. So everything based on our idea of a word, it's all based on, our personality, our upbringing, our culture, our experience, right? Our pain, our pleasure. So everybody really understand things very differently. So you want to ask them first, right? Seek to understand, seek first to be understand, then to be understood, right? Somebody said this before. Hey, this guy, right? I don't know why, he always come in, right? And he tipped me very, very well, right? And then the dad come in, and the dad came in and he just tipped very standard, right? And they're like, wow, why is the dad so stingy, right? And then one day the waitress just asked, hey, how come your son come in, tip us like crazy load. And when you tip us, you just tip us, the exact amount like what everybody else would tip, right? Because I don't want to feel like, is it because of my service, right? Seek to understand, right? Is it my service? No, actually it's not, right? Actually the guy is actually Warren Buffett. I believe it's Warren Buffett or Bill Gates, one of the two, right? And they say, well, unfortunately, my son has one of the wealthiest father in the world. However, I just grew up in a poor home, right? By a I can't remember. It's not a farmer, but by just a regular family that they grew up in, right? So again, seek first to understand and to be understood, right? Because it's not that he does not want to tip a lot. It's just that when his upbringing, allow him to only do a certain things because that is the model of their world. Right? Again, a lot of you guys are very different from each other. So learn to respect each other. Seek first to understand, why do you do what you do? Right? Why do you do what you do? Right? Then you're like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so now moving forward, this is what I'm going to do. Do you understand what it is? Right? So then together, right, you build that trust. Right? You build that deep understanding. You build that, oh, now I understand your need and your perspective. So you don't fight with each other, especially if you're working as a team. Right. That's the reason why we tell you that this is a very open environment. Very, we don't judge each other, right? Because everybody has a story. And sometimes we just do not know what that story is about. So always seek first to understand, then to be understood, especially if you guys are carrying into a new project, right? Why do we do that? Right? What is the first thing that's most important in this, in this job, in this in this task, right? In this project, right? Again, be proactive, right? Try your best to be proactive. Sometimes I have to seek first to understand with you guys. Why are you guys not proactive, right? Why are you shy, right? Why are you not typing in down below? Tell me exactly how you feel. How come you don't, unmute yourself, right? I mean, so, one day I talk to you guys about this, right? Do you guys not like me? You guys not love me, right? And then you say, oh, no, Phyllis, it's not that. I'm just kind of shy, right? I feel like, you're kind of far away, so I cannot connect with you. And I was like, no, right? I connect with you all the time. I love you all so much, right? So again, for me, I seek to understand first. So I understand why you are not responding to me as quickly as we can. But however, that is my mission, to give you the power to be proactive. Because the more proactive you are, right, the more successful you're going to be in the workplace. If you want to be irreplaceable, right? If you want to be the one guy that your company is counting on, right? Then, well, you need to be proactive, right? You need to learn how to seek to understand, right? Then to be understood so they can run an amazing team together, be the leader that you deserve to be, right? Or you want to be. So habit number 6, what would that be, right? Habit number 6 is synergy. Oh man, I love this, right? It's all about win-win, right? Synergy. What is synergy about? Innovate and problem solve with those who have a different point of view, right? Innovate and problem solve with those who have a different point of view. Develop innovative solution that leverage diversity and satisfy all key stakeholders. So what does that really mean, right? Sometimes people always ask me, well, Phyllis, what do you, what is a perfect team for you, right? Sometimes I was like, man, perfect team for me, I think is, maybe 2 more of me. So, all three Phyllis's together. But then I realized actually that's not what I want, because then we all will have a lot of the same strength and a lot of the same weaknesses, right? Then again, one of us will have to work on our weaknesses, which is going to be painful. So now, kind of like my team, right? My core 3, right? It's me, Mary, and Monique, right? So we created this amazing synergy. Why? Because we all think very, very differently. I don't know whether you know that or not. Type it down below. Did you notice that us 3 are actually very different? Because we are. Because Mary is very organized, very system driven, right? Very OCD, right? Monique, she's very IT based. She's also a very, she's more of a people person. And again, she's a very significant, right? So she wants to, make sure that she presents herself the best at any given point too, right? And as for me, I'm a loving connection driven. So like, I'm just loving you, right? Sending you a lot of love, right? And again, I love to teach, right? I'm not really that organized, right? So, but together, when we have an idea, we push it out, right? Seek to understand. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? This is what I think. What do you guys all think, right? So we will talk it out. But the coolest thing is if all three of us agree and all three of us think that this is a great idea, 99% of the time, that is a great idea. You get what I'm saying? Because we created this synergy, we see everybody's viewpoint before we even run it. Because if we have three Phyllises running it, the outcome is not going to be as accurate. But if it's me, Monique, and Mary running it together, then we created that synergy. We know that whatever outcome that we're trying to get from this thing is going to be head on, because us three have different mindset and we come up with different ideas, different steps, different checklists, different viewpoint, so that we can make sure that this project is as perfect as it possibly can. So what about you? What is your strength and what is your, what is your weakness, right? Have you shared that with your teammate yet? Right? And have you find out what is your teammate's strength and weaknesses, and how can you guys combine together and make it very strong, right? Some people, told me before, right? Chopstick, right? You can easily bend one chopstick, you can easily break one chopstick at a time, right? Break it, break it, break it. However, if you put like all 10 of them together and you're trying to break it, it's going to be very, very hard. Am I right? So all you wanted to do is, create a synergy in your company, right? First thing first is create a synergy within you and your teammate, right? After you create that synergy, then you create the synergy between you, your teammate, and your boss, right? Because together, when you have this, when you have the synergy and you always seek to understand and to be understood, and then you have that win-win, right? And you focus on the one thing that it will yield you the most outcome and be proactive and constantly worked on it, man, everything will be perfect. You know what I'm saying? You guys are going to be in such an amazing community, in such an amazing every single day life. You're going to really, really love it and enjoy what you do every single day, just like us right now. We're really having fun, growing this together and seeing what is out there. What else can we do? Does it kind of make sense to you? And last but not least, what would be the last one be, right? You say, well, the last one, habit number 7 is sharpen the saw. Okay, sharpen the saw, right? Before I use Tony Robbins, time management to RPM, I was actually using Stephen Covey time management, right? One of the big thing is always talking about sharpening the saw, right? Seek continuous improvement and renewal professionally and personally. Increase motivation, energy, work-life balance by making time for renewing activities, right? Increase motivation, energy, and work-life balance by making time for renewing activities. What does that really mean? I love this. It come from a story, right? It come from a story where it said, well, there's 2 trees right here, right? Again, two almost identical people who are sawing the tree, right? One of them have a very dull, both of them have actually very dull saw. That's where they start, right? And one of them, they just use the dull saw and just saw it. And it's very slow. And then the other person took about 2 hours to sharpen that saw. And the guy's like, why are you doing that? You're losing 2 hours and I'm going to get more done than you. He's like, no, because if I sharpen the saw, I'm going to do it a lot faster. Right. So then he sharpened his saw for 2 hours and then he started to saw it. Right. And what happened? You are actually putting in half the effort to get the full outcome. Right. So at the end, the story is, the person that sharpened the saw, right, finished cutting the tree first. Why? Because the knife, the saw is sharper. Right. Have you ever tried to cut something, right, that is not sharp and you're like, I just can't get it. I just can't get it. And at the end, you sharpen it. You're like, psst, 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 it's done. Right. It's so easy and simple. Am I right? So again, it's the exact same thing. Right? What about you, right? Have you constantly improving yourself, right? Obviously in this 30 days, you're going to be here, right? Constantly improving yourself. So you feel like you're in a peak state. That's why a lot of you guys, quote unquote, have Phyllis syndrome withdrawal, right? Some of you guys are graduate and you're like, oh man, I just can't wait for Wednesday to come back, because Wednesday is actually the day that you sharpen your saw, right? You're coming in, learning a lot, right? Getting all this amazing energy and go back and work again. Right. So again, whether you're here or not, right, you always want to think about how can I sharpen my saw? How can I be faster? Right. That's why I love learning, because the more that I learn, the faster I go. Right. The more that I learn, the more focused I can. The more that I learn, the more that I learned that, hey, I shouldn't have any negative energy, right? Because the more negative energy there is, I won't be able to accomplish anything anyway. So why do that? Right? Sharpening your saw. Well, I mean, I realized that, you can use a calculator and do 1 + 1 equal to whatever, 2 + 2 equal to whatever. But hey, if you learn how to use Excel spreadsheet, you can actually do 10, thousands of math questions, right? By pulling the column over and everything is done. Am I right? Would that be a great idea? Think about that, right? Using a calculator and using an Excel spreadsheet. Which one is faster? Would you want to constantly do it with your calculator? Or would you want to constantly doing it with an Excel spreadsheet? I think you all will know the answer, right? Which one do you prefer? Same thing here, right? Sharpening my saw. I always constantly sharpen my saw so that I can get better. And then the good news is, obviously, I always constantly sharpen my virtual assistant, my assistant saw, so in the way they can run faster, right? And again, if they run faster, what about me? I ran faster too. Am I right? So that's why I love, investing in my virtual assistant knowledge, right? Talking to them, right? Investing time in them to get them good. Because again, the sharper they are, right? As a saw, the faster they're going to cut down that tree. Am I right? So same thing here. What about you, right? Have you ever proactive enough to tell your client, hey, in order for me to get better, I think I need to learn this. Or, hey, Phyllis, in order for us to get better, I think we need to learn this, right? Hey, I don't know what I need to tell my client what to do and how to do about this. Every time you brought up a question, that is also kind of like sharpening the saw, right? Because you're telling us the problem or your challenge, and then we are the one that helping you sharpening your saw, right? We're like, hey, this is what you need to do. Hey, this is the course that you need to learn. Actually, we have this training on, Trello board that you can learn, right? So that way you're getting better and better, faster and faster every single time. Does it kind of make sense to you? I hope that makes sense. Again, all 7 habits are very, very important. I obviously love all of them. I'm not sure whether there's any one of them that I really, like less. I know sharpening the saw is huge for me, right? But again, you need to be proactive too. So again, this is a quote from Stephen Covey, right? Paradigms are powerful because they created the lens through which we see the world, right? What is the lens that you see the world on, before you see the 7 habits of highly effective people, right? If you want small change in life, work on your attitude. See that? It's all about attitude, right? Since day one, I told you about it already. It's all about the attitude. It's all about where your focus go, your energy flow, right? But again, if you want big and primary changes, work on your paradigm. You have to get your paradigm shift, right? You got to change your lens. You can constantly focus on the yellow, like the yellow that we like, right? How can you improve yourself, right? How can you really improve yourself, right? Again, I'm just going to give you a quick, rundown of the 7 habits. And if one of you guys got it, I know most of you did, right? Make sure that you write that down, onto the Zoom chat. So in the way, again, take a minute, right? Let your client know that, hey, I just learned about 7 habits of highly, effective people. So moving forward, this is what I commit myself to do, right? Because again, you're adding another layer towards yourself, right? So, again, habit number 1, right? Mr. Boss, I would be more proactive to you. I will ask you more questions. I will be more responsible with my result, behavior, and growth, right? Habit number 2, right? Again, boss, you're right. I'm always going to be asking you, what is the end in mind? And that before I start anything I'm doing, I'm always going to ask myself, what is the end in mind? Before I even put my time and energy into it. And then at the end, it's becoming a waste of time, right? Because again, the more you understand, the more you're going to get, right? Habit number 3, right? Put first thing first. Sometimes we tend to put the very important thing last. So what you want to do is just bring that up, right? The very most important thing you need to do throughout the day, get that to be done first, right? Get that done first, because, that is the most important thing. If everything else you did not do, right, you just do that one thing, you will be bringing yourself so much further along, right? And with selfless people, who wants to work with people who think about them? We all do, right? That's why, think win-win. Okay. Habit number 5, what would that be? Anybody know? Seek first to understand, then to be understood, right? Respect each other. Sometimes I will say, I agree to disagree, right? I respect your viewpoint, right? So seek to understand, then to be understood. Don't judge other people, because when you judge it, as soon as you judge somebody, you lose the chance of helping them. Got it? And habit number 6, that will be, synergy, right? Create that synergy among your team, right? So together, whether you're there or not, right? We all know, what can we do together? Because again, like me, everything is about together. If I don't have all my teammates right now, I will not get to where I need to go and still be able to breathe and smile and record this call for you, right? And habit number 7, yay, the most important one, right? I guess this is my most important one then, since I said that, right? Sharpening the saw, right? Sharpening the saw, right? The more that you sharpen your saw, the further you're going to go and the faster you're going to get there, right? So would you want to take 5 years to get to where you need to go, or 5 minutes to go to where you need to go? So think about that, because, the one thing that we all have the equally same is time. The one thing that is very fair from God is time. The one thing that you cannot buy back is also time. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, this training, right? Make sure that you tap it down below and give us some share. And also unmute yourself and let us know what is the one takeaway that you have, which habit really hit you the most, and you are committed to 100%, 1000%, 1,000,000% commit yourself to do that, so that you can get to the next level, so that you will be the irreplaceable virtual assistant, so that you will be the virtual assistant that nobody else will ever fire you, and be always grateful for you and your existence. All right. I love you all very much. Enjoy your Wednesday. I will see you next Wednesday for sure. Right. Mwah. Feel free to reach out to me if you need anything. But again, I love you all very, very much. So go out there, do the best that you possibly can, because your client is changing the world, one step at a time. And you are the one that helped them change the world one step at a time too. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.